All right, ladies and gentlemen, Run Sports Broadcasting coming back to you here. A little bit of a delay, a little bit of issues with some of the Wi-Fi here, but I think we're in a good spot. All right, so we will be in a better place here. And if you can go ahead and bear with me here, we're just getting things set up, and but we will go. So this is the Ashburn is taking on the Mid-State Mustangs, team we played a couple times earlier this season. So Ashburn going to start with Feliciano, Wu, and Radaman, and then Revich and Sterbutzel at the defense. So that faceoff was won by Feliciano. He sends it up. It's battered back to Sterbutzel. Now back out front, intercepted there by Revich. Revich looking, he dumps it into the far corner as he looks around. And here comes Midstate. Midstate working their way back out. Here comes Yount. Yount coming through, trying to get through, but he could not get through by the stick of Feliciano, and it gets put into the zone. Now Feliciano up to Wu. Wu comes in, shot saved by the netminder. Another shot. Feliciano, and he tried to send it across, but the net came off its moorings, and so the whistle is blown, and we will get a face-off to the right, to the left of the Mid-State net. 21-21 remaining in the first half. You heard me correctly. These are halves. These are not periods. All right, Cal in for the face-off. He ties up his player and comes back. Now Cal with it in the corner. Cal sending it around, looking for Rubenstein. Rubenstein back to O'Neal. O'Neal back on the ice after serving his suspensions last weekend. So now working away, Smith. Smith come in for Midstate, tries to send it across to his partner. Now a shot up front, saved by Tommy DeVos. I'm sorry, that's not DeVos. That's Scotty Wells. Wells is in net for Ashburn. And now working their way out here comes Ashburn working their way back. Sent up, looking for Rubenstein. It's tipped by the defense into the zone, and so no icing as it comes back around to the side. That puck goes out of play, and we will get a face-off just outside the Mustang zone. Correction. It's going to be up to the left side of the Mustang net as they're the ones that put it out. Rutherford now in for this faceoff for Ashburn. He ties up his player, but the faceoff is won by Mustangs. It's sent around, held in at the line by Van Benton. Van Benton sends it down low, looking, and now back comes Ashburn. And now it's pushed out, though, by the Mustangs. Mustangs looking low, loses an edge. Leads, looking up, he finds Donovan. Jonas Donovan working his way through. Picked up there by Rutherford. Rutherford dumps it into the net, or into the zone. And now back comes Van Benton as they regroup because it got pushed back out by Midstate. Now in, pushed on by Donovan. Donovan leads, giving chase inside the corner. Now looking down low, trying to get through to it. Behind the net. Rutherford looking to come away with it. Couldn't quite get to it. It's sent off the boards. Intercepted, though, by Rutherford. Rutherford comes in, shot towards the net. Saved by the netminder. And it goes wide. Now working through. Trying to get out. Here comes the Mustangs. Now Donovan working his way back. Sidesteps one defender. Tries to drop it off for Leeds. Can't. And now here comes the Mustangs. Mustangs working back. And back out to Revich. Revich working his way across. He sends it for Sterbutzel. Sterbutzel sending it up. He finds Murphy. Murphy up to Ryan. Now drop for Conchar. Conchar with the shot that's blocked out front by the defense. And now back behind the net. Here comes Murphy. Murphy behind. Looking for Ryan. Ryan trying to get it out front. He's bottled up in the corner as they continue to fight for it. Now trying to work through. Shot towards the net. Sticked aside by the netminder. And now out to Sterbutzel. Now here comes the Mustangs. Mustangs working back. He's got little with it. Shot towards his net. That's pushed wide of the net. And now working their way out. Murphy. Murphy trying to get it out. Can't. And now the Mustangs working through. Now Revich. Revich in his feet. He loses it. Murphy comes back to retrieve it. And he's going to send it up the zone. He looks out for Ryan. That's chipped away by the defense, but dumped right back in by Murphy. But Ryan was just a bit offside at the line, and so we will get a face-off just outside the mid-state zone. 18:41 remaining here in the first period. Ashburn and Mustangs tied up at 0. Now that face-off is won by Feliciano, dumped in by Boltima. Boltima back playing on defense this weekend, at least to start. Now Sticked around side. Save Wells. Now back behind the net. Now coming away with it is Morse. Morse sends it up, and he sends it all the way down the ice. That's icing. And we will get a face-off back to the left of Scott Wells. Now face-off won by the Mustangs. Sent towards the net. Picked up and held onto by Scott Wells. He'll get a face-off just to his left again. So we'll do it again. Now finally sent out of the zone by Ashburn as that's won by Cal. Then Mustangs looking to regroup. They send it in. Now looking across, sent in. That's dumped in. Rubenstein giving chase to the corner. Now around behind, looks towards the net, but it's sticked aside by the defense. Now behind, O'Neill tries to center it out for Rubenstein, and that hops the stick of Van Benton. Van Benton winning the race to it as he tries to get through. Now picked up, though, by the Mustangs as they almost get a good scoring opportunity. And now back to the near side corner. Cowell ties up his man. Van Benton in there tying up his man as they look to get out. Now Mustangs behind the net looking to center. That hits the net. Now still behind the net. The Mustangs coming out front with it. Sends it to the slot. Not able to get through. Now a shot towards the net that goes wide. Being sent. And finally out to center by Rubenstein. Now Miska sends it in for the Mustangs. Miska is tripped up as he goes around Apostolescu, and that'll be a 2-minute minor for tripping to Alex Apostolescu with 17:11 remaining here in the first half. Now it's face off, won by Midstate as they work it behind the net, trying to come through. Now around behind the net, Midstate working their way. The Mustangs trying to send it up, set something up on the power play here. Now across, look for number 13. He tries to get to it, and it's a whistle, but the net's not. I guess the net is off slightly. They called it for being off, the net being off its moorings, but it looked like it was good. Rutherford ties up his man, wins that face-off back to Sturbutzel. Now Sturbutzel trying to send it up. He sends it up looking for Leeds. Couldn't get to it. Now working their way across. Rutherford trying to get to the puck, but it hops his stick. And offsides. Panic was offsides. And that'll give us a face-off just outside the Ashburn zone. Minute 29 remaining here on the penalty to the Xtreme. 16:34 remaining here in the first half. Now that faceoff tied up. Conrad sends that across for Mustangs. Now back to Conrad, but he can't handle the pass, and Morse is going to get to it. Morse sends it up, and they're saying no icing. That didn't touch anybody's stick. That should have been icing, but you know what? We'll take it. Now Donovan working his man around the corner, trying to get through. And now here comes the Mustangs breaking out, looking up, trying to dump it in. They dump it in right on net. Wells sticks that one aside. Now trying to get it up and out of the zone. Cal gets it out of the zone, gets it over, and working their way through. Now across, Conrad. He dumps it off, and Cal gets it, and he's got a short-handed break as he looks in. Shot saved by the netminder. Big save by the netminder for Midstate. That is number 86, Seth Conrad, who is their goalie. Not the same Conrad that was just playing defense, obviously. All right, Feliciano in for the faceoff. He ties his man up, pushes it forward. Now Ratterman gets to it as they try to maintain pressure, working down low and coming through, and finally out to center, Sturbutzel. Sturbutzel has it. He sends it down, and Feliciano giving chase inside the Mustang zone, but the Mustang's going to come away with it. Again, Mustangs on a power play for the next 25 seconds. That's dumped in wide of the net, taken by Sturbutzel. Sturbutzel sends it up, and no icing. And I guess it was tipped by the defense of the Mustangs. And that is offsides at the line, and he missed it because he was out of position, but that's all right because we got a couple of our own. Now that is sent down, and no icing, as that's going to go back and be retrieved by the Mustangs inside their own zone. That'll do it for the power play for the Mustangs. That's sent down, no icing. It's tipped by the Xtreme, and now Sturbustle gets to it. He sends it up for Ryan. Ryan tries to tip it on, but nobody there for him, and it's retrieved by the Mustangs as they work their way out. Now, Ryan working his way across. He gets through. He's checked up off the play. Now looking behind. Mustangs working their way through. It's sent wide, and now Morse gets to it. Trying to get it in. The Mustangs get to it here inside their own zone and look to break out, and they do. Now sent up, tipped in. That's going to be wide of the net, or it's going to be stopped by the netminder, Conrad. Now Mustangs working their way back, 2-on-2, coming through onside at the line is Little. Little can't hold the line though as it's pushed out by Ryan, and Ashburn going to go ahead and chase down inside the zone. Now here comes Mustangs, get it out to center, but it's picked up by Baltima. He sends it across, looking for Kevin Rubenstein. Couldn't get to him. And now back out, Morse. Morse gets to it, and he turns around as he looks his way out. He sends a puck up, finds Cowell. Cowell getting through one, pushes it on, trying to get to another, and it gets just out of the zone now. And now it's intercepted by Rubenstein. Rubenstein intercepts that feeding pass down the middle of the ice, and now checked up off the play is O'Neill as he tries to get through. Now behind the net, O'Neill centered, can't get to it. Rutherford gets to it, tries to send it out, but it's sticked away by the Mustangs. And now a shot towards the net, gloved down by Wells. He'll hold on, and we'll get a face-off coming up to the right of the Ashburn net. 13-19 remaining here in the first period, and Ashburn and Mustangs tied up at 0. Rutherford in for this face-off. He sends that back as he wins that face-off back to Apostolescu. Now leads trying to tip it up, and it's sent in. Onside at the line. Now Apostolescu getting to it, trying to send it around. It's intercepted, though, as they work towards the net. That shot, that puck's and held on to by Wells, and we'll get a face-off coming up just outside. Just to the right of the Ashburn net. Now Rutherford in for the face-off again. He wins that one over for Revich. Revich sends it up for Donovan. Donovan to Rutherford. Rutherford looking up. He finds Leeds. Leeds gets it into the zone. Trying to get through. Now, looking down low. Trying to get it out. They finally do push it out to center as Morse gets it in. That's onside. Donovan going to give chase. Now looking around behind. Kept in at the line by Sturbustle. It's sent around, though, behind the net. Trying to keep it in. Now Leeds sends it towards the net. That shot right into the chest of the netminder. He holds on, and we'll get a face-off coming up to the right of netminder Connor for the Mustangs. 12:30 remaining here in the first period. Ashburn and Mustangs tied up at 0. Now Feliciano ties up his man. Sit down low for Wu. Wu trying to get through. Working across. Trying to get through. Now looking for the centering. Shot. Oh, shot by Feliciano. But that puck had just come to him. Now sent offside as Ratterman couldn't hold the line, and he dumps it in as the rest of his team had not cleared the zone yet. So we'll get a face-off just outside the Mustang zone. Feliciano back in for face-off there. Won by Ashburn, dumped in, but taken right back. Now held at the line by Feliciano. Down low, trying to get through. Now sent up, and that is sent way out of play by the Mustangs defenseman trying to go off the glass, but he went too high, and it went out of play. So we'll get a face-off coming up just to the right of the Mustangs net. Murphy in for this face-off for Ashburn. He wins that back. Morse has it now. Now he dumps it down low, looking for Ryan. Trying to send it out front, can't. Ryan will retrieve along the near side boards, and he sends it down. Now he cuts to the middle, looking across, trying to find somebody to get the puck to. Can't. Now Morse comes in, tips it in. Puck is loose and covered up by the netminder before Casey Conchar could get his stick on that puck. And so we are going to get another face-off inside the Mustang zone. Face-off tied up by Murphy, taken by Ryan, so Ashburn with it as they look to cut to the middle. Tipped away, though, by the defense. Finally out to center, and now pushing around Bultima. Bultima looking up for Murphy. Murphy dumps it in. That pass by Mustangs intercepted by Ryan, but then checked up off the play, and then back come the Mustangs. Coming back through, here comes Yout. Yout with a shot towards the net. That's sticked aside to the corner by Wells, and now behind the net as they look. Now behind, continuing to look. Watched by Bultima. Bultima's got his player tied up in the near side corner. Now he checks his player off the puck. Puck is loose, and now Bultima with it as he tries to send it up. He tips it up and out to center and dumped in, and that is well off sides as none of the players had cleared the zone. So we'll get a face-off. Should be at center as that's where the pass originated. Now face-off coming up at center. Kyle in for this face-off. He's got Rubenstein and O'Neill to his wings. And that's tied up. Pushed forward by O'Neill. Mustangs lose an edge inside the corner. Sent to the middle, but he can't quite get to it. And now works their way out. Now out to center. Here comes the Mustangs. Panic across, and he is offsides at the line as he dumps it in. And we'll get a face-off just outside the Ashburn zone. 10:30 remaining here in the first half. Still tied up at zeros. Now, face-off won by the Mustangs, but taken back by O'Neill. O'Neill coming through, looks for Rubenstein. Rubenstein can't quite get a shot off of that pass, and it's sent behind. Now O'Neill down inside the corner, sets it up top for Van Benton. He takes a shot. Rebound loose, but taken back by the Mustangs. Mustangs working their way up through center. Coming in on sides at the line, sticked away by Wells, but now behind the net, and the puck is so that is going to be a goal for the Mustangs as there was still an imminent scoring chance when the net came off, which is why the whistle was not blown. They have to allow that chance to play. That is the reason why that is still on. So it is 1-0 Mustangs. Now inside the corner, looking their way out. That's held by Rebic. Rebic sends a shot on. That goes wide. Now leads behind the net looking. Donovan. Donovan looking. Tries to set it up for Rebic. Couldn't quite get it to him. It's sent up by Butzel. And now here comes Donovan. Donovan's the line. Checked up off of it temporarily. Now leads. Looking behind. He sends it out front. Rutherford had gone behind the net to try and help him out. And now a break for the Mustangs. That's onside at the line. Now dumped in Rebic. Rebic sending it across. Here comes Donovan behind the net. Trying to get there. Now here comes Leeds. Leeds working his way out. He's going to dump it right in onside on Conrad. Conrad's going to hold on. And we will get a face-off just to the, I'm assuming to the left of the net. 9:07 remaining here in the first period. Mustangs up 1-0. Feliciano in for this faceoff. Set back to the line. Now Bultima sends it towards the net. Almost tipped in by Raderman, but he couldn't quite get his stick on the puck. And now working their way out. Coming through. Sent around Feliciano. Feliciano trying to send his way up. He's skating up with the puck. He's going to take it himself as he dumps it in. He's around behind the net now. Loses the puck. Trying to send it out front. He doesn't sit. And finally it comes. So that net was off, and they wave it off. The difference is that that wasn't an immediate scoring opportunity, whereas the one with the scrambled internet was an immediate scoring opportunity. That's the reason the Mustangs goal counted and the Ashburn goal did not. So just to give everybody a little bit of insight as to why that was the case. Now, as we look through, sorry, I'm trying to fix my sheet here. I'm not sure what happened. So I'm trying to fix this, guys. But as you can see on the screen here, still working their way through. Now sent out to center by Ashburn. Sorry, I lost audio, guys. I apologize. I had this thing on mute the entire time. Not the entire game, but since my last break. So I apologize for that. So there apparently is a discussion happening. I don't know what the discussion is because I think the discussion is whether or not the puck was actually covered up or not. And we know what they say. So sent out now as Rutherford have won that faceoff, working through, trying to get across. Now coming across here near side. Mustangs are, sorry guys, I know, I apologize because I'm having some issues with the technical difficulties here of there's an update to this operating system and the that I use. So I'm just trying to fix it real quick here. I promise you I will be right back with you. And I will make sure that I do better here as we go through the rest of this game. Face off won by Rutherford. I'm sorry, that's Feliciano. Feliciano wins that face off. Now it's sent out to center, and back comes through center. Here comes Feliciano. Feliciano takes a shot, blocked away by the defense. Another shot towards the net. Another shot towards the net. Lots of rebounds, but they can't quite get him. Wide open net. Wide open net, but can't quite get. Now back down low. To the middle, and back comes the Mustangs. Mustangs working their way out. Now across center, onside, Conrad loses an edge, and here comes Feliciano. Feliciano working his way out. He sends it up for Ratterman. Ratterman through center. Now working across. Here comes Ashburn trying to get in, but it's turned over, and it's intercepted there by Murphy. Murphy dumps it in, and it goes down low. Now behind the net, Conchar giving chase. Now behind, here comes Mustangs, working their way out. They send it out, intercepted by Apostolescu, but he gives it right back to the Mustangs, and they are 3-on-1 at the line. Shot towards the net, and that flutters off of the defenseman's stick, Van Benton, and by Wells, and that'll put them up 2-1 with 4:18 remaining here in the first. Now that faceoff won by Mustangs as they work their way back. Now working through. That's a tough one for Scott Wells because the puck was tipped by the defense and it kind of fluttered on him. I think he was in position. I think it just happened to flutter the wrong way and go right over the glove. Now working their way through. Here comes Murphy. Murphy sends it up for Ryan. Ryan across for Conchar. Conchar inside. Drops it back for Murphy. Shot towards the net. Oh, and that goes off of Ryan's body. Almost in, but not. Trebuzzo now sends it towards the net. That shot saved by the netminder and out of play. And we will get a face-off to the left of the Mustangs net. 3:39 remaining here in the first half. Ashburn down 2-1 to the Mustangs. Now working their way through. That face-off was won by Cowell, but then lost by the defense. Now a shot towards the net, and he shoots it wide. I don't know if he shot it wide or if it was saved by Wells, but turned over nonetheless. Here comes Boltima. Boltima's got 3-on-2 if he hurries. Shot towards the net, saved, back behind the net as they work back now. Boltima trying to get to it here, but Cowell is back covering defense for him. Now sent up by Morse. Morse sends it up for Rubenstein. Rubenstein chasing the puck. Can't quite get to it. Sent back down low. And now around behind. O'Neill. O'Neill in the corner. Trying to get through. And finally being sent out. Now Boltima going to reset as he had to wait for his team to clear. Boltima loses it. And it goes back behind. Now Ray with it for behind the net for Mid-State. Big hit there. So they're going to give a check-in from behind call to number 21, Ray. It looks like they're discussing it. But the problem was we had possession of the puck. Ashburn had possession of the puck. So it shouldn't have been blown yet. But and they're going to call him for roughing. So it's only a 2-minute penalty instead of a 2 and 10. And now face-off going to happen off to the right of the netminder, leads in for the faceoff, and now faceoff tied up. Rutherford gets to it. He works his way around behind the net. He's checked up off the puck, trying to get it back. He tries to dig it back out, trying to work through. There's a now working out front. Shot coming up. Shot towards the net and held on by the netminder. It was a good shot by Rebic, but held on to by the netminder. Now leads in for this faceoff on the power play for Ashburn. He's trying to send it back through, trying to get it across. It's still loose. Now O'Neill with it. He drops it back for Morse, back to Rebic. Rebic sends it towards the net, and now out front, trying to get through. Now sent across, shot towards the net, but missed the net to O'Neill. Otherwise, that puck was going in. Now working their way out. Here comes Rebic. Rebic looking. He sends it up, looking for Rutherford. Rutherford trying to tip it in for Leeds. Couldn't, and that's going to be offsides. So Rutherford held up on the puck. I think he thought Leeds was coming in, but anyway, that stoppage caused the offside, so we'll get a face-off here just outside the Mustang zone. 1:42 remaining here in the first half. That face-off won by Ashburn, sent in, but then sent all the way out, and that's going to be icing, maybe. And it is going to be icing as it goes all the way down, and we'll get a face-off here to the right of the Mustangs net. Face-off won by Feliciano. Quick turn pass by Ratterman, misses everybody and goes back out to center, and Ashburn will have to regroup. Now working their way through, trying to get across. Apostolescu working his way through. He's being harassed by a Mustang player and hasn't been able to pass off the puck to anyone. So he's still got possession of the puck, still has it, finally sends it up as he looks for Van Benton or Wu, and finally coming through. Now here comes Feliciano. Feliciano working his way into the zone. He peels back. He's going to take a shot towards the net. That's saved by the netminder. Ratterman sending it back around across for Wu. Wu now sending it back around for Feliciano to the near side corner. As he works through, he sends it back for Apostolescu. Shot towards the net. Shot and a goal. That goal scored by Alex Apostolescu on the assist from Wu and Feliciano. Wu and Feliciano. And it is now 2-2 with 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. So back to being a tie game. Now Murphy in for this faceoff for Ashburn. He wins that faceoff over to Ryan, but it's taken right back by Midstate as they work their way in. They send it around down low. Now Morse tipped up and can't quite get out of the zone yet. And now finally sends it up. No icing, as they're going to say it was tipped by the defense. So no icing. Now being sent up, turned over, shot towards the net, saved by netminer Conrad for Midstate. He holds on, and we'll get a face-off to his left. Face-off won by Murphy. Now Morse playing with the puck, and he loses it. And now a possible break, but it comes in on net, and that is saved by Wells fairly easily as it trickles in on him. Now Rutherford in for the faceoff. He wins that over. Gets it up for Morse. Morse gets it up for Ryan. He loses a puck. It comes through. 2 seconds, one, and that'll do it for the first half. So after one half, Ashburn and Mustangs tied up at 0. And there is an ice cut in between halves, I guess. So, 2-2 after 1. We'll hang out here and we will come back to you with the last 22 minutes, just a few moments after they get their ice cut and their break. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on Rud Sports Broadcasting. Ashburn and Mustangs tied up at 2 as we enter the second half of this game. Remember, these are 2 halves, 22 minutes in length for this tournament. That's the rules. So Ashburn going to start the second half the way they started the first, which is they will have Feliciano at center. They will have Ratterman and Wu on the wings. And then at defense, Rebic and Sterbutzel. So that is how they will begin the second half. As we begin the second half play, Ashburn moving right to left across your device. And that faceoff won by Feliciano and dumped in now by Rebic. And now behind the net, Mustangs try to get to it, but it's held up. And now kept in at the line by Rebic. Rebic trying to set it around, but it sneaks out to center. Sterbutzel gets to it over to Rebic. Now he dumps it in off of Wu. Now to Feliciano. Shot towards the net. Shoots and held onto by the netminder. Feliciano was looking 5-hole, but that shot was shut down by Conrad, and he'll hold on and we'll get a face-off to Conrad's right. Now back in for the face-off, Feliciano. He ties up his man. He wins that faceoff, gets it down. Sterbutzel holds it in and gets it to Wu. Now there's a scrum for it along the near side boards. Finally comes out to center. Sterbutzel sending it across for Rebic. Rebic trying to send it up. Blocked into the zone by the Mustangs and finally sent out by Rebic out to center. Mustangs coming right back, and they're not saying that was offsides. That was close. It also could have been icing. Wu gets to it. He loses an edge. Take it down. Wells saves that puck and sent out, and now out to center for Ratterman. Ratterman working his way along the far side boards. He comes through, drops it off, looking for Feliciano. Feliciano couldn't quite get to it. Kept in by Ratterman along the boards. Still held in by Ratterman. And tried to dump it back for Feliciano, but no one was there. And it gets out to center. Now Bultima over to Morse. Morse up to Wu. Now Feliciano trying to get it out. Can't. Sent back by Wu. He sends it up for Feliciano. And trying to get it out. Kicked forward and into the zone by Morse. Now O'Neill giving chase. That's sent down. And they're going to say no icing is that it could have been played by Morse. Although I don't think he actually touched it. But now working out the center. Here comes O'Neill. O'Neill, Morse taking it himself. Drops it for O'Neill. O'Neill loses it. And back comes the Mustangs. But they couldn't quite get it past the defense. And it's still kept in. Now Bultima. Still a lot of issues handling the puck on that side by the Ashburn defense. They have missed that puck at least 2 or 3 times in this game. Right over in that same area. Now behind the net, Morse. Morse sending it up. Looking for O'Neill. No icing. Icing is waved off. And Rubenstein giving chase behind the net with O'Neill. Now out front. Tries to tuck it in. It gets pushed aside. Now Rubenstein trying to send it up, but it gets sent out of play all the way down. Not out of play. All the way down by the Mustangs. And we will get a face-off coming up just outside, just to the right of the Mustangs net and netminder Conrad. Now Rutherford in for this faceoff for Ashburn. He's sending it across. He wins that across for Leeds and now working his way through. Trying to get around. Rutherford to the net. Oh, that's Leeds. He drops it off for Rutherford behind the net. He picks it up. He looks. He sends it back down low for Leeds. Leeds trying to send it out front. Couldn't quite get it though to Donovan. And back comes the Mustangs. But it's tipped up by Apostolescu. Now in for Leeds. Leeds coming through. Apostolescu shot towards the net. Now behind that, Leeds. Looking out front. And that gets through the crease, but not able to get out. Now covered up. Now sent out by Mustangs. That gets by Apostolescu. Coming in. Look. Shot. And tipped up. Wells couldn't hold on to the puck. It just tips up off of his stick. And that gives the Mustangs a 3-2 lead early on in this game. That hopped the stick of Apostolescu, which created the break for the Mustangs, and now 3-2 early on in the second period, Mustangs. Now coming back to the middle, shot towards the net. That's blocked away. Now working through towards the net, out front, and back out to center it goes. Now working through. Sent and dumped back in. Now Rebic. Rebic going through, sent up, and that's tipped out. And now Ryan's going to give chase. It's going to have to be played by the netminder. Murph tries to keep it in, and he does. Now working his way across. Now finally things as they work their way through. Coming across, panic, shot towards the net, blocked away by Sir Butzel. Back out. Now Murphy with it. He can't hold the puck. He tries to send it up, but it's taken back by the Mustangs and dumped right back in. Now, Sir Butzel working his way through, trying to get it across. He gets it across for Rebic. Rebic sends it up, looking for Ryan. That's sent into the zone. Ashburn getting a change. Checked up off the play by Conchar well after that puck was gone. He's lucky he didn't get a roughing call. And now Murphy. Murphy working his way up. Tried to spring Wu, but he couldn't quite get to him. And now here comes Morse. Morse working his way through. Trying to get down low. Working across. Conchar. Now behind the net, Wu. Looks, turns, shoots, save. Puck is still loose and gets out to the middle. And now out to center. Now Boltimo with it. He's going to work his way into the zone. He does. And it's taken right back by the Mustangs as the Mustangs look to break out. Now coming through. Across center. Mustangs dumping it in. Retrieved by Morse. Morse trying to set it up for Wu. Wu can't get to it. And now taken back by Feliciano. Feliciano coming out of the zone. He gets out of the zone. He puts on the brakes. Now sent up, but out of play as it goes off of a Mustang. And that'll give us a face-off right outside the Ashburn zone. 16:36 remaining. Oh! Now face-off won by Ashburn, but sent right back in by the Mustangs. Now behind the net. Coming through. Apostolescu watching the player in front. Now to the middle as the Mustangs look to get an insurance goal. That is not a trip. I know some people are going to see that and think it was a trip. There was no stick there. Now working the way up Rubenstein. Rubenstein putting on the brakes. He's got O'Neill with him. He shoots it, but Conrad with a big glove save. And he holds on, and we'll get a face-off coming up to the right of the Mustang net and netminer Conrad. Now Kyle is in for this face-off for Ashburn. He's out there with Rubenstein and O'Neill. He wins that face-off, but the puck is tied up and finally comes back with it. And now back comes the Mustangs, working out 3-on-2, tipped away by the defense, and now held on by Wells. It's poked free, though, by the Mustangs because there's no whistle. And now working through behind the net, trying to get it out. Mustangs holding the line, trying to get through. Shot towards the net. That's saved by Wells as it goes wide of the net and trying to get it up and out, but they can't get it out of the zone. Held in by the Mustangs. Big pressure here by Mustangs. That's now tipped by the stick of Rubenstein up and hits the roof. So we will get a face-off right here inside the Ashburn zone as that puck was played off of a Ashburn stick and out of playing surface. 15:31 remaining here in the second half. Rutherford in for the face-off. He wins that one back, but then it's taken back by the Mustangs as they work through. Now Rebic trying to get it up and out. Can't. Rutherford checks the player up off the puck. Now working through. Rebic trying to send it up. Looking middle. Shot towards the net. That goes wide and into the corner. Being retrieved. Now Strabutzel with it. He looks up. He finds Rutherford. Rutherford working up. He sends it up for Leeds. Leeds dumps it into the zone and around. Donovan giving chase into the far side corner. He works through. Leeds. Now behind the net. Rutherford's going to get to it. He's checked up off the play, but he's not able to hold the puck at least temporarily here. And now out to Leeds. Leeds out front. Tries to get it through. Can't. Now Ashburn can't quite get through, and now it's taken by the Mustangs as they dump it into the zone. Working across, shot towards the net, saved by Wells. He holds on and will get a face-off to the left of the Ashburn net and netminder Scott Wells. 3-2 Mustangs leading this one with 14:28 remaining here in the second half. Murphy in for this face-off. He wins that one back and gets it over for Morse. Morse setting it up for Conchar. Conchar finds Murphy. Murphy's got a possible 2-on-1. If he hurries, he's going to take the shot. That's tipped. He had Ryan off to the side there, but went in for it. And now 14-14 remaining in the second period. We'll get a face-off here as that puck went out of play to the right. To the right of Conrad for the Mustangs. Face-off now taken and won by the Mustangs as they try to break their way out. Not able to get there. Trying to hold pressure in the zone. Ryan now behind the net. And now turned over in the middle. Couldn't quite get a stick on it there was Conchar. And it bounces out. And here comes the Mustangs. Mustangs working their way through. That puck is out. And now across Ryan. Ryan steps around the defender. Comes in. Tries to get a shot off. Shot. Save. And rebound is there. And working your way across now near side boards to Morse. Morse down to Murphy. Murphy sends it around looking for Conchar. It's got to by the Mustangs as they work to break out. Trying to work their way through. Mustangs coming in, but they lose it. And now Murphy. Possibility to catch him in a chain. Sorry, that was Ryan, not Murphy. I apologize. And now taken as it's checked off by Conchar. Working his way across the center. Here comes Smith. Smith's shot on, saved by Wells. He'll hold on and we'll get a face-off here to the left of the Ashburn net. We are down to 13-10 remaining in this game. Ashburn and Mustangs. Mustangs holding on to a 3-2 lead. That is sent out of the zone. That's going to be icing. That gets all the way down, and we'll get another face-off. Face-off by Feliciano. Won by the Mustangs, and they send it around behind the net. Looking behind the net is Smith. Now it comes to Wu. Wu tries to get it out of the zone. It's held in. Oh, that did not come out. That for sure did not come out, but they called it offsides. So we'll get a face-off here just outside the blue line. That was probably actually to the benefit of the Mustangs because they were getting ready to go back and Ashburn was going to have a break. So here comes Feliciano. Feliciano, he wins that face-off back to Van Benton. Gets it out of the zone. Now sent off. Working their way through. Now here comes Wu. Wu working his way up the near side boards. He's in the offensive zone. He's checked up off the play. Now sent around, and Mustangs retrieve it and get it out to center. Now they dump it into the offensive zone. Van Benton going to go ahead and get to it, and he sends it around for Ratterman. It gets out. No icing. Icing is being waved off. I'm not sure why, but sent around. Now Feliciano holds it along the boards as he tries to get through. Now the Mustangs working their way out, trying to get up, trying to get through. Apostolescu gets out and kept on. They did not go offsides. He does hold on to it, and that shot is dumped in and sent to the corner. Now Apostolescu with it. He got it for Wu. Wu trying to send it up. Can't. Cut to the middle by the Mustangs. Now finally being sent up and out of play. Now Ratterman trying to check his player up off the puck. Being sent in. Now looking up for Rubenstein. That misses Rubenstein, but it's tipped in by the Mustangs. They send it up off the stanchion. It gets in, no icing. Now to the middle, trying to get through and can't get it out, get a shot off. That shot hits the side of the net by the Mustangs as they've got it now. Now behind the net, Cowell. Cowell tries to get it. He's checked up off the play. And now working their way through. Dumped back in. Kept in by Mustangs as they look to try and pick across. Here comes not Apostolescu. That was O'Neill. O'Neill with it. And now back comes Mustangs. Conrad looking, trying to figure out what he's going to do with it. He sends it in on net. Now looking across, O'Neill. O'Neill sending, I don't know who he's sending it to. Now working to the middle, trying to get through. Now across, looking for Boltima. Boltima sends it up for Donovan. Donovan working his way in for Leeds. Leeds couldn't quite get a stick on it. Another shot towards the net by Leeds. Shot, goal! Scored by Donovan. And it is now 3-3 on Donovan's goal from Leeds. So we now have a 3-3 game. 3-3 game with 9:54 remaining here in the game. Rutherford in for the faceoff. He wins that one back for Boltima. He sends that up, looking for Donovan. Donovan tips it into the zone. Now the Leeds working behind the net, trying to push it towards the net. Can't. Now into the corner, Rutherford to it. He checks off his player. He keeps it. Now to Leeds. Leeds trying to keep it in. Morse keeps it in at the line temporarily. It finally works its way out to center. Now Boltima trying to send it up. Now Rutherford trying to tip it up, but it's taken by the Mustangs. They couldn't quite get it past the offensive blue line. And so now there's a scrum for it over there. 3 Ashburn players. Now Rutherford, he comes away with it. Rutherford working his way through. He's checked up off the play, and now back comes the Mustangs. Working to the middle, and that's going to trickle in on net. Held onto by Wells, and we'll get a face-off coming up to his right. 9:04 remaining in the game. We are tied at 3. Now Murphy's in for this face-off for Ashburn. Murphy, it's sent up to a possible issues with the internet is going in and out. That's because of a storm that we're having up here in Pittsburgh. That I can't help. So there may be some delays, and maybe it may cut in and out, but I will stay with you as long as the internet is still working here. So back out at center, the Mustangs. That is offsides. That's going to go down to center ice, which is where the pass originated from, as they still had individuals inside the zone. Now, Feliciano ties up that puck and finally comes away with it as he dumps it into the zone. Trying to get around. Wu takes it. Shot towards the net, but it's blocked away by the defense. Now still looking inside. Now looking to the other side, Ratterman. Ratterman tries to hold the zone, but it gets out. Strabutzel not even chasing the puck. He's just watching it to the middle, sent around. Now dumped in by the Mustangs. It's sent into the near side corner, working around Strabutzel. Strabutzel has it on his stick as he looks around, trying to set it up. Wu trying to push it off the check it off the player for Mustang stick, but they get to it. They send it right back in. Now Rebic. Rebic getting it on the far side corner. He loses the puck, turned over right in the middle of the ice. Luckily goes wide of the net. Now comes through. Here comes Ratterman. Ratterman out to center. He does clear the zone. That is onside at the line. Strabutzel gets it now in his own zone to Rebic. Rebic sending it across. No one there. Now Rubenstein trying to get there. Now Kyle misses the check, and it's sent in onside by the Mustangs. Now sent around as they look to get it out. Rubenstein sending it up. He finds O'Neill. O'Neill tries to toe drag around one, can't. Now sent in, but offsides. And it's going to be at center as O'Neill had not been able to get around the Mustangs player, and we have a face-off coming up. They're going to say it's just outside the zone. I would have probably said that I would have the face-off at center. He was closer to center ice than he was to face-off dot, but that's all right. Face-off won by the Mustangs. Mustangs working their way through, trying to get out of the zone. Now sent up across the blue line, and that gets sent in on Wells. Wells sticks it aside instead of covering it as he had a Mustang player bearing down on him. Now working his way through. Cal gets through. Now it's dumped in. Rubenstein giving chase inside the corner. Inside to the corner, trying to get out. Now sent up. Not able to get it out of the zone. Finally they do. They send it all the way down. That is not going to be icing. It's waved off. And now sent around. Morse giving chase. Now checked up off the play. And that puck is tipped by a Mustang player and gets out of play. Gets all the way down. So looking for that far pass. Sent up. They get it around to Apostolescu as Mustangs do get it into the zone. Apostolescu, watched by two players, couldn't get the puck out along the boards as he tries to send it up. Now looking out to the middle, sent on net. Wells not able to hold on. Rutherford sending it around behind. Now sent up and held on to by Wells, and we'll get a face-off here to his left. 5 minutes exactly remaining in this game. Ashburn and the Mustangs tied up at 3. Now Rutherford in for this face-off. He wins that back, but it's taken back by the Mustangs. That puck is saved. Puck is loose, off to the side, trying to get there, covered up by Wells. He'll hold on, and we'll get another face-off here inside the zone. Murphy now in for the face-off. That's won by the Mustangs. They send the puck towards the net, and inside the corner it is as they work behind. Trying to get out. Conchar tries to push it out of the zone, and he finally does, and back comes Murphy. Murphy got a little speed. That's on sides. He's got Ryan with him, but it's taken right back by the Mustangs. Now Sturbussel unable to hold the puck. Now that's a tripping call coming up, and not a clear break, so not a penalty shot, because it was, even though it was a foul from behind, it was not a clear break. It was not a clear break. So the debate right now is whether or not he had a clear path to the net, which he did not. So that is a good non-penalty shot call. But now Ashburn got to kill 2 minutes. Now working his way across. Here comes Ashburn sending it out to center. They get it out. Kyle watching the players. It's dumped right back in. Again, Ashburn killing for the next couple minutes. Now sent out of the zone. Now working through. Trying to get across. Out to center. Bounces in the middle. Now Morse. Inside the corner. Morse being watched as they try. 57 seconds of a 4-on-4 as Rubenstein was tripped up. So 4-on-4 for the next 57 seconds, and then Ashburn will have a 1:03 power play. So abbreviated power play upcoming for Ashburn after the 57 seconds expires. 3:20 remaining in the game. Face-off in there, Feliciano. That's won by the Mustangs. They send it around. Kept in by Morse. Morse looking along, trying to get through. Kept in by Rebic. Rebic comes in, looks for a shot. Looks for a pass to O'Neill. O'Neill tried to spin around instead of just taking it to the net. That's sent all the way down. They wave off the icing as that hits the stanchion and stays closer. Now O'Neal, that's not offsides apparently. That was pretty close, but they're going to say it wasn't offsides. Now, checked up off the play. Now working their way out, sit all the way down. That's going to be not ice. It's not. They're going to say that. I don't know if they're saying that it hit his pad, but if it glances off the goalpost and goes in, it's not. It goes off. It's still icing. Now working their way through, coming across. Ashburn loses the puck and it gets back to all the way down. That's icing. It will get a face-off inside the zone. With 25. Minute 35 remaining in this game. 16 seconds remaining on the power play for Ashburn. Rutherford out there to take this face-off with Leeds and Donovan. Apostolescu and Van Benton at the points. Face-off won by the Mustangs. Kept in. And now it has to... No! It hits... Takes away a scoring opportunity when that was not. So, not a hand pass because it hit the stick of the defender after it was knocked down by Leeds. It should have been 2-on-0 for Leeds and Rutherford, but instead. Anyway, Rutherford's with it now as Leeds wins that face-off. Now around behind. Now Rutherford out to the middle. He takes a shot. That's blocked away by the defense. Now looking out front. He's checked up off the play and now working their way through. Trying to get it out to center. He does. Rebic not able to. Now a 2-on-1. Shot towards the net. And goes in on a 2-on-1. And that, my friends, is with a minute 5. Mustangs going up 4-3. So now Ashburn needed to pull very quickly to try and get this back. Now Cal coming in. Looks, shot towards the net. That goes high up off. Working to the middle. Ashburn now pulling their goalie for an extra attacker. Working through. Feliciano is the extra attacker as they work towards the net. That puck covered up by the netminer, Conrad. 48 seconds for Ashburn to get a penalty and make this a tied game. Now, won by Cal, sent through the net by Morris, but not able to settle the puck. Morris holds the line, though, back down low for Feliciano. Back behind, working through Feliciano out front. Looks, O'Neal, shot, goal! So O'Neal with the goal on the assist for Feliciano, and we have a 4-4 game. Big push by Ashburn there with 34 seconds remaining. And we have a tie game. "34 seconds remaining. Cal wins that faceoff back. He sends it over for Morse. Now up to Sterbutzel. Now up Rubenstein. Now Cal. He looks, shot. Oh, O'Neal couldn't quite pull the trigger. Now back towards the net. Couldn't get there. Sterbutzel looking, shot towards the net. That goes wide. Morse can't quite get to it to hold the zone. He sends it up off the stanchion. Now dumped in. 10 seconds. Mustang sitting it out. And that's not going to get there for icing. Nope, they're going to wave off the icing. That's going to pretty much do it for the game. That's it. And that's how this game will end. A 4-4 tie. What an amazing comeback there in the last minute by Ashburn after they had given up the late goal, coming back to get that fourth goal and playing from behind. So, 4-4 game. Ashburn will be playing this afternoon against the home team, the Allegheny Bandits, maybe. But that's who they will be playing this afternoon at 5:10. We'll be back with you here right on Rudd Sports Broadcasting. Thank you, and take care of one another. Stay safe. I know the weather for this winter storm is moving in along the East Coast, so stay tuned here on Rudd Sports Broadcasting. 5:10 this afternoon. Tomorrow, uh, Ashford will not play until 8 o'clock at night, so we got all day tomorrow with nothing. So enjoy it. Take care, and we will see you at 5:10 right back here on Rudd Sports Broadcasting.